Hey guys, this is Dixon from DMF Academy. So, after months of preparation, we are finally ready to launch our first product. For more info about this bundle sales and exclusive offer, feel free to check out the link in our description box. If the link is not working, it means that the offer period is over already. You can still head on to our website to get access to this product. So without further ado, let's continue with our video. Thank you. Okay, for set 43, the first question here. So the tricky thing here is that the local time of Marseille is 1 hour ahead of the local time in London. So a little bit confusing, but to solve this, simply minus 1 hour from the Marseille time. Okay, then you get 1346. Then you find the difference between 1346 to 0719. So difference is actually 6 hours and 27 minutes. Okay, for section number 2, okay, we got the total distance already. So for you to find the time, simply takes 7:55 minus 7:19, you get 36 minutes. However, this minutes is not accepted because you're required to convert it into hours. Then you will get 150 kilometers per hour. So next thing, so it took 35 seconds. So this 35 seconds, you are required to convert it into hours as well. So distance over 35 divided by 60 divided by 60 equals to 90. So distance of this will include the bridge itself plus the train, because it crosses it completely. Okay, so we get 0.875 kilometers, which translate into 875 meters. And to find the length of this bridge, simply minus this results with 95. Then you will get 780. So I did a miscalculation over there by keying in 30. Okay, so I adjusted it, so it results 780 meters. So for section B, number 1, standard fare, just take 84 divided by 60, you get 7/5, which translates into 7 to 5. For the adult tickets, find the percentage increase. So 140 minus 84 divided by 84. Then you will get 66.67%, which translates into 66.7 after the 3 significant figures conversion. Whereby for number 3, okay, so 11/2 equals to 280 over child. Okay, so your child will actually be 40 child. So 40 times 60 plus the 220 times 70% times 84 plus 220 times 30% times 140. So your total fare will actually be 24,576. Okay, so this is a decrease. Okay, so just take 100 minus 12%, you get 88. So 3.08 times 10 to the power of 5 divided by 88%, you will get 350,000. So change it into standard form, 3.5 times 10 to the power of 5. Question 2, okay, to run this calculation, just take 5x minus 7x equals to 17 plus 3. So negative 2x equals to 20, x equals to negative 10. For part B, the inequalities calculation, basically split this into two parts, which goes by negative 7 less than 4n and 4n less than equals to 8. So after the calculation, n will actually be more than negative 7 over 4, n will be less than equals to 2. For section C, okay, since their base is the same, just add their power up, then you get a to the power of 9. For the second part, remember to multiply the power of 3 into 5 as well. So your results, 125 x to the power of 3, y to the power of 6. So for this, the third section, I converted the 27 and 64 into 3 to the power of 3 and 4 to the power of 3. Okay, multiply negative 1 over 3 into it, I get 3 to the power of negative 1, x to the power of negative 4, and 4 to the power of negative 1, y to the power of negative 1. In order for you to get rid of the negative, basically shift them upside down, then you get 4y over 3x to the power of 4 as the results. Question number 3, okay, A number 1, a translation, okay, with a vector of negative 3, 2. So the top part is the changes in x, and the bottom is the changes in y. Okay, so I label it as A image. Okay, so for part number 2, after the reflection, I listed it as a double image. For section B, a single transformation A to B, this is the way I did this was to align two rulers onto each other, which form a 90 degree. So to make this method efficient, you first need to know where is the possible part where you should put the center of rotation from. So after aligning it, I get 1, negative 1 as the center of rotation, and it is a 90 degree anti-clockwise. Section C, find a enlargement. Okay, so for this, it's actually -2, 0, 0, -2. If you don't understand this, you can actually memorize it. Details is available at my Instagram account at the daily pop quiz section. You can just screenshot it down. Okay, to calculate the determinant, simply takes -2 times -2 plus 0 times 0. So your results, 4. Question 4a, okay, pretty straightforward. Just take the sphere formula, multiply it by half because it is hemispherical bowl. Okay, so after the calculation, you get 368 with no issue. So for the second part, okay, pi r squared times h, your results will be 80% of the one we gotten at number 1. So I took the 367.809293 multiplied by 80%. Okay, run the calculation, you get r equals to 3.06. As for part B, okay, first thing that you need to do is to calculate the slant height. Okay, so in order for you to calculate surface area, remember to include the bottom of this cone shape as well. So that goes by pi times 1.75 square plus the formula pi RL. Your results will be 44. Question number 2 here. So first thing first, you're required to calculate the radius of the smaller cone at the top first. Okay, by comparing it, you get it as 0.4375. Then to calculate the area, simply takes 1 over 3 times pi times 1.75 squared times 6. Okay, this is the total, the big one, minus the small one, which goes by 1 over 3 times pi times 0.4375 bracket squared times 1.5. So your results, 18.9. Whereby for part B, okay, the salt is removed from the cone at a constant rate of 200 millimeters cube per second. So 1 cm cube is actually 1000 millimeter cube. So after the calculation, I take 18.9 times 1000 divided by 200. I get it as 95 seconds. Question number 5. So this is the trickier version of this question. okay, where they involve function. So for A number 1, it is when x equals to 1, what would the results be? Okay, they did the heavy lifting for you to draw out the curve. So when x equals to 1, your results will actually be -3. Okay, for part 2, it's slightly complicated. First, you need to find the bracket that's inside first. So when x equals to -2, your results will actually be 3. So substitute this 3 as your new x for the f. So when f equals to 3, your results will actually be 6.2. For part B, compare the equation given with the original equation. So you realize that there's an excess of -5. Okay, so shift the -5 to the other side. Then you will get your equation as y equals to 5 minus 3x. I substituted 2 random points, which is when x equals to 1, y will be 2. And when x equals to 2, y will be -1. Okay, then you are allowed to draw it out. Okay, a straight line over at the graph. The intersection will actually be -0.25 and 1.75. Section C, pretty straightforward. Okay, things you need to take note is the difference, okay, between the line and the curve must be equal for both sides. So after the calculation, you will get it as -3.75. For section number D, simply substitute the value of -3, -2, and 2 into the equation. Your y will be 8, 4, and 0.25. Okay, and for you to find the positive solution, you're actually required to take the part where they intercept at the positive side of x. So the intersection value will be 1.85. Question 6, pretty straightforward. To calculate the mean, find their respective midpoint, multiply it by the frequency, divide by 120 because of the question mentioned about 120 boys. So your mean time will actually be 14.5 seconds. The frequency density using the formula frequency over class interval. Things to take note is to verify whether there is skew factor involvement or not. So after the calculation using the graph that was given, it is 3.8. Okay, it is the same, so no skew factor. Then you can just proceed with the calculation and get 5.4, 4.2, 0.8 and 0.45 to complete the frequency density diagram. Question 7. Okay, first thing that I did was to find the gradient. After the calculation, I get it as 4. Substitute the 1, 9. Okay, you can choose between A and C. Okay, I just use C for example. So you get your C equals to 5. So your entire equation will go by 4x plus 5. Whereby for part B, okay, you are required to find the translation A to C. Then you can use it to identify the angle. Okay, ignore the x-axis. Okay, it's just to confuse you. Okay, so there's actually a right angle triangle over there. So your height of this triangle is actually 12, and your bottom of this triangle is 3. So after using the tangent calculation, you get 76. Section C, okay, so I just use the m original times m new equals to -1. So our new gradient here will actually be -1/4. Substitute the 3.5 and 2 into it, you will get your C as 23/8. Okay, for C number 2, to make it easier for you to understand, I actually plot out the point AC and BD, okay, and show you the -0.5 and 3's location. Okay, so for you to identify D, the distance from the center midpoint to B will be the same to D. So D would actually be negative 0.53, okay, minus another 4 as it was at the left hand side of the midpoint, okay, the intersection, and the difference for the Y will actually be 1 because 2 to 3, so 3 will go to 4, okay, so you will get negative 4.54 as the results. Question 12, okay, so keyword here for the number 8 is without replacement. So your x will actually be x minus 1, and for your bottom it will be x plus 2, okay, because it reduced by 1 after you've taken it out. Okay, so multiply these two together, you will get 7 over 15. Run the shifting and calculation. You should be able to prove the equation. Okay, remember here you're required to adjust. That's why I put a divide 2 over at the bottom to make it the same. Factorize process is pretty straightforward. I uses the cross multiple method. Okay, so you will get two results here. One is when x equals to 7, the other is negative 3 over 4. So things to take note is that it cannot be negative, okay, to represent a counter. So your x results will automatically be qualified as 7. Whereby for part B, okay, it is a separate question from the rest. So they wanted to be all in same colors. So the possible outcome will be green, 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 and red, red, red. So 5 over 9 times 4 over 8 times 3 over 7. Okay, keyword here, without replacement. That's why there's a decrease in the numerator and denominator. So for red, 4 over 9 times 3 over 8 times 2 over 7, add them both up, you will get 1 over 6. Question 9a. Okay, for this part, I uses the sine rule to run the calculation. I first fill up all the angle that I can find. Okay, so the ADB is a straight line, hence ADC is 108. Okay, so I've gotten the results of ACD as 46. So using sine rule, I can now identify AC's value as 76.7. So to calculate BD, okay, since we already have the 72 degree and 35.4, we can now use cosine 72 equals to BD over 35.4. So BD's value 10.9. For part B, calculate EF. Okay, so using the ratio is really important here. So I assume that my EF is x, so my FG will be 2x. So half times x times 2x times sine 40, your results will be 70. After the calculation, you will get your EF's distance as 10.4. Okay, for section 2, as confusing the results can be, okay, you don't actually have to break your head for this. Simply takes 180 minus the 40, then you will get 140 as the results. So basically, you're required to find what are the other outcome, okay, that can be qualified as PQR. So since they are similar, you can just use 180 minus 40, then you get 140 as the results. So question 10a number 1, find the next two terms. So the term by term difference is actually negative 4. So from 7 to the next term, just minus another 4, you get 3. So from 3 minus another 4, you get negative 1. So to construct the n-term sequence, simply use the term by term difference, which is negative 4. And to find the zero term here, by taking 19 plus 4, you get 23. So combine these two information up, you get 23 minus 4n. Okay, find the value of n when n's term value is negative 65. So 23 minus 4n equals to negative 65, n equals to 22. Question B, okay, another sequence has n term, okay, so substitute 5 and substitute 4 into it and find their difference. You will get 23. So this is also somewhere at the middle. Okay, if you're comfortable with solving all this question, you should be alright. So overall, among this time around for this major session, I would consider variant 3 will be the hardest. So if possible, redo this, time your time, okay? You should be okay for your final exam. So I wish you all the best for your upcoming examination. Thank you.